Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So for this video, I am going to be showing you guys how I set up my budget for each month. Now it looks pretty much the same for every single month, but we are coming into March. So I thought it was the perfect time to take you guys along with me and show you how I set everything up to make sure that I know what bills are coming out on which day. That way I know what to save for each paycheck and that it's all organized and just makes it super efficient and super easy for me to just keep track of everything. So let's get started. All right, so this is what the binder looks like inside. I love this thing. I actually got this for 2021. The one I had before didn't have a way to close. It just wasn't as like professional looking. And I wanted something that was like very serious because, you know, finances are very serious. And so I splurged a little bit. I think it was like $24. It wasn't like that expensive, but super nice, super efficient. I love that it has this calculator because my kids literally always steal my calculator. You know how it is if you have toddlers, they just want everything that you have. So that's nice that this is built in here. Has these I don't really use any of this other than for the pens. And then I keep spare sheets right in here because it has this really nice spot that you can do that. It has 3 rings. It's super efficient. Holds the entire budget workbook perfectly, like literally not very much room to spare, but it is perfect for what I need. All right, so the workbook that I use is from The Budget Mom, and it's actually really, really good. There are a few pages that I don't really utilize at all, but for the most part, I use pretty much everything in here. And if you buy this online and get the printable version, you can have it for life, which is really nice because I'm constantly needing to scratch out papers that my kids have scribbled on and redo them, or if I mess up or something like that. I prefer this a lot better, even though it's not as cute as the spiral notebook that she offers, but that way you can redo everything and you don't always have to use an erasable pen, which I was doing in the beginning, but I really like this pen a lot better. All right, so what I love about this workbook is that it has the month at a glance. And so what you're gonna do, or what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna fill out all of the dates for the month. And then I'm going to take this paper that I already pre-filled out with all of the days that the bills come out and how much they are and what they are. And I'm gonna fill that out onto here. And then I will show you guys what I do next. All right, so now that we have our month at a glance all done, I'm gonna show you guys how I kind of keep track of how much money we are going to be putting into different envelopes, how much money is going to be going for bills. That way I can kind of see like, okay, what's my bill budget for the month? So I created these little worksheets that I have. That one's for February, that one was for January. Oh gosh, what am I doing? They're all the way in the front. I created these myself because it just made it so much easier to kind of see what my monthly expenses were. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, because it is going to be March 2021. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fill out all of these categories. I'm going to put how much money I plan to allocate to every single envelope, to every single bill. And that way I can know, okay, my estimated income is going to be this much, my estimated expenses is going to be this much. And I can kind of play around with money and see like how I'm going to set everything up. So that's what I'm gonna fill out right now. This is just so incredibly handy for me because I have a set amount that I do put into pretty much every single envelope, but some months is a little bit more. Some months I'm like, okay, I can put a little bit less, or, you know, just kind of play around with things. So what I'm going to do is do this. So for car, we give our car payment $510. I know for this month, my Vista is going to be $229 rounded up. For TRICARE, $239. Mortgage is going to be 2 payments of $533, so it'll be $1,066. All right, now for spending, we do it a different way. We used to do it different, but you know what? I was kind of like, whatever, let's just do it this way. It'll make it easier to kind of like figure out. So what we do is we do based on how many Fridays are in the month, since we get paid on Friday, and we do $50 a week. So since there's only 4 Fridays in March, that means we're only gonna have $200. So 50, 50, 50, and 50. So $200 spend limit. So if there's 5 weeks, that means our spend budget is a little bit more and we can kind of treat ourselves a little bit more. But since there's only 4, we're gonna do 200. So for phone, we're gonna do $130. For Ellen Fisher membership, it's going to be $7. Internet 70 Dash Pass is $10. Ulta Pest Control is $38. And now groceries is the same way that we do spending. We go by Fridays because I go grocery shopping every single Friday. And so since there's only 4 Fridays, I do $200 a week. I used to do $150, and before COVID and before winter, it was totally doable for a family of 4. But since COVID, things are more expensive, and it's also winter here, so produce is significantly more expensive. Also, I don't know where you live, but we live in Washington State, and it is very, very expensive. They're trying to raise the minimum wage to $15, like all over the whole entire state. And so things are gonna get even more expensive. So $200 seems to probably be sticking around for the foreseeable future. So what we do is we base it on how many Fridays there are. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So for the month of March, we have $800 for groceries. So that would mean if there is 5 Fridays in a month, we have $1,000 to spend on groceries, which seems so much. But on those months, I actually am able to stock up the cupboards a little bit more, which is really nice because some months you use more than you do, or however that works out. So for this month, we'll do 800. All right, sorry, I had to stop and give Ollie something, but I was saying for my envelopes, Zakat, I put a asterisk because you just never know how much it's going to be. And some weeks you don't have anything extra, and some weeks you have a lot of extra. So I like to do 3% if I have it, but if not, then I do my best. I've just started this envelope this year, so this will be the 3rd month that we're doing it. So we just do the best that we can with what we have, God willing, and we try to give as much as we possibly can. But right now, with our midwife, we barely have anything left over. So we are doing just about the best as we can. So for healthcare, we are going to do 20 for debt snowball, which is our car. We are going to do 47. The way I came up with that number is I had a bill that was, however much. I had 2 different bills, and then they equaled 47 together. So once I got done paying those off, I put it towards our car. For car insurance, we pay $135. That is every 6 months, so that's why it's in an envelope. For waste management, which is our trash, it's $50 a month. For Amazon, it is $15 a month. For Costco, it is $10. For Beachbody, it is $10. For miscellaneous, it is $100 for our family. This might go up to like $125 once new baby is born, just because there's like some other expenses that just come up, when you add another person into your life, into your family. So I might move that up to $125 because it seems 25 a person is perfect. For kids, it is going to be $150. Now, it used to be only 100, but once I got pregnant, I started adding 50 because even though we have a new baby fund, that's mostly supposed to be for our midwife. And that way I'm getting 50 to add to buy new things for this baby as I need them. So for holiday, we do $280 a month. Now, the way I came up with that was in the very, very beginning of the year, I wrote down every single holiday that we spend any money for, and that number came out to be $280 a month, which is a lot more than we were paying in 2020, but I just wanted to make sure I had a little bit of extra to cushion in case something was more expensive or if something came up. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do is home. So minimum, I like to put $50 into home. Before we were paying our midwife like $560 to $700 a month. I was able to put a lot more in there, but since we don't have that extra money anymore, it's a significant amount going to our midwife. We just put a bare minimum of $50. For household, which is things like soaps, detergents, wipes we use flushable wipes, stuff like that. We do $30 a month, and that has worked out to be absolutely perfect. Beauty is the same, so $30. That's things like deodorant, body wash, stuff like that. That has worked out to be great. Car maintenance is the same as home. I put $50 into there. If for some reason we are going to be needing something that's going to be coming up, I will increase that as we have the funds to do so, but bare minimum $50. For Matt's clothing, it is $20 a month. For my clothing, it is also $20 a month. Now for new baby, this is our midwife pretty much specifically, and if there's anything left over, I can buy the things that I'm trying to buy for the new baby as they come. So depending on how many Fridays there are, because we go by weeks, so for the month of March, there's only 4 weeks again, so I will do 1, 2, 3, and then I will do a check mark for each week that I do, but that means that it is $140 a week times 4 weeks, if that makes any sense at all. So $560 will be due in March for new baby. Now, if it was a 5 week month, it would be $700 and vice versa. So $560 for the month of March. For date night, it is going to be $20. We have not gone on a date since before January of 2020, and we are desperately in need, and I can tell we haven't been on one for a long time. But honestly, like, our city has pretty much closed everything. Everything is so strict and it just hasn't really budged at all. And some restaurants are open, but it's just like not a fun environment. It just feels very like cold and sterile, and everyone's masked, and it's like, okay, you know, that's what they have to do, but it's just not a vibe that I would enjoy. I'd almost prefer to like create my own date at home. So I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna try something like that. Maybe ask my mom to watch the kids and then have like a little dinner put together for Matt, maybe take some carry out and come home and just watch a movie or something. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But definitely feeling like we need to take a date night. So for Ollie's allowance, we do $8. For Rosie's allowance, we do $6. I explained that in my last video, so if you are wanting to figure out how we figure out allowance, go watch that video, it's right at the end. But we have a certain way that we do. And then for new babies allowance, since they are not born yet, we are gonna do $0. For camping trip, I do $5 a person per month. So since there's only 4 of us, it is going to be 20, but when, God willing, this baby is born, it'll be 25 from now on. And that is actually how I do healthcare now. Once new baby is born, it'll go up to 25. And let me see if there's anything else. Same with kids, yeah, stuff like that. All right, so the next envelopes are our saving envelopes. And so just to be honest, like with our midwife costing $560 to $700 extra a month, we just like do not have that money to be stuffing into savings like we used to. So for this month, or even all of the other months until we pay off our midwife, I'm pretty much like having no expectations to put anything into savings, but I'm trying to put at least $5. So for my Mecca trip, I want to put $5. For our dream home, $5. For our wedding, which Matt and I are married, we just never ever did an entire wedding because Matt got deployed like right afterwards. So we never got to have a big wedding, and we just kind of eventually want to do something very intimate and very small, but like I already have a wedding dress. I have a wedding dress. I just have never worn it. So it's really sad. And you know, it's just like, maybe one day we should probably do that. So we'll put $5 into there. Matt's car, because he drives like a little beater car, he doesn't care at all, but I just want to save money for that because eventually that little car will probably die and he'll have to get a new one. So we're just going to put $5 into there. And then for general savings, the same thing, $5. And then for giveaways, because I love you guys and I love to do giveaways, I haven't done one in a while. I was kind of thinking to save it for like maybe 3,000 subscriber giveaway because we are so close. But I might actually do something in the near future here, hopefully, with this building up. So we're gonna do $10 for this month. The difference here is in March, we're probably going to get our tax return because we've already filed, everything's already been submitted and accepted. So these numbers are based on if we don't have our tax return come in, but if we do, we already have pretty much all of our money allocated, and I'll do a video on that. But these numbers will change a little bit based on if that comes in the month of March, just because it is a significant amount of money that we'll be able to put into different envelopes. So now that I have this all laid out, I'll kind of show you like what I'm kind of thinking and like what I kind of do. So say for instance, our first paycheck for March is March 5th. I can see that the only actual bill that's coming out of why can I not say that word? My bank account is our mortgage for $533. So then I'll see, okay, mortgage. And then I will do this because there's 2 payments, and then I would check it off. And then I would come down here and see how much money I have left over. And based on that, I'll come through my envelopes and see, okay, what can I pay? So say I only had $200. I would want to do a big one like car insurance. And then I can do like Waste, Amazon, Costco, and Beachbody. I can have them all paid off. So I can just refer here, and then once I do that, I just check off which ones I've already used. For instance, I'll show you. So this is February. So February, I've already crossed off which bills I've paid. I've already crossed off which envelopes I've stuffed or am stuffing this coming week and things like that. So this will be all laid out and everything will be all peachy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, and this is pretty much the last step, is I figure out how much this is in total for expenses, and I'll put that here, and then I will figure out my income in just a second, but I'm just gonna add this all up, and then I'm gonna figure out what my estimated expenses are and kind of see where we can go from there. So I'm gonna do that really quick. All right, so now I'm going to figure out paychecks. So Matt, I always say 700. Usually it's a little bit more, but I'll put 700 as like a low ball. 700 times 4 since he gets paid every single Friday. I don't know if he has drilled this month. I'm not 100% sure, but if he does, it'll be about $350. Okay, so for my paychecks, I get paid every 2 weeks. So I am going to figure out when I last got paid. Let's see, right now, when is the last time I got paid? I will be getting paid this week, so the 19th. So I won't get paid until the 5th. So 2 times is when I'll get paid in March. And my paychecks are about 600, sometimes a little bit more. 600 times 2. So before, I used to have the side hustle of watching the little girl. I will not be getting any paychecks anymore from her in March at all, because the last paycheck is actually like the 24th of February. So I won't be accounting any of that for my side hustle. Usually from YouTube, I'm making about $150. I used to make a lot more, but since I haven't been filming as many videos, just because life has been so nuts with this other baby in my life, but now I'm really hoping to get more videos out for you guys, because it is just a lot of work. Having a kid that's not yours, first of all, is totally different than having kids that are yours. I don't know, but it has just been, it's been draining. Also being pregnant has been draining. So I'm hoping now that she will not be coming over, I will be able to focus more on you guys and give you guys my full attention, and also start my second channel, because I'm so excited. I've been filming videos for it, and I cannot wait to get that going. So we're gonna figure this out really quick. That'll be $2,800. That'll be $1,200. Let's just say that, and then we'll say $150. And I don't know, I think Matt does have drill, so we'll say $350 for a 2-day drill. If it's a 3-day drill, it'll be a little bit more, but we're just gonna count it as a 2-day. So we'll just count all of that. So 0, 0, 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 4, 500. Okay, so I just had to go off screen and figure out what the heck was happening, because I was like, that is so high and that is not high. And so I was like, that is really weird. So even since it is a four Friday month, our income obviously for that month is less than if it was a 5 Friday month, because we're basically missing out on an entire paycheck. So I was like, okay, I can understand that, but that was so much higher. So what I figured out is these 3 don't actually come out of our expenses for this month, because these 3 bills are technically on the last paycheck of February. So technically those wouldn't count. But then if you come down here, okay, this is gonna get so confusing, but if this does come down here, there's only 1 day that will come into April that I'll have to count for, which is our car, so $510. So what I did is I subtracted a Vista and TRICARE, because these are technically on that paycheck, and they will technically fall on the first paycheck of March. So technically speaking, I don't actually have to pay those for the month of March. Does that make any sense at all? Probably not. But because they are allocated from the last paycheck of February, and then they'll be on the first paycheck of April. So technically speaking, I actually don't have to pay those for March. So I'm actually going to cross them out, even though they fall in March's category, or they like are seen here, they're actually allocated on February's. Does that make any sense? So I subtracted those. The expenses total came to $4,497, and our income was $4,500. So that gives us $3 of wiggle room. So most likely, unless we get our tax return, I probably won't end up stuffing my savings, because there's really not that much wiggle room at all. And so some months are just like this, where every single dollar counts for something. And some months where you have a 5-week month, sorry, Ollie's behind me and he's being really extra. Some months where you have a 5-week month, you have a lot of extra money. So it just kind of like depends on how it works out. But other than that, this is a very, very accurate description of how it goes every single month, figuring out how you're going to spend your money, figuring out where everything goes. Sometimes you have to change numbers around because that's just real life, that's budgeting. And especially when we have $560 to $700 going towards our midwife, like I've said, it just really affects your finances because you don't have any more income coming in. It's just basically you have to move things around to make it work. So it does come down to $3 in difference between your income and your expenses. So now that all is said and done, basically what I will do every time it comes to a paycheck, I'll just refer to this. I will refer to these to make sure that I'm stuffing all the envelopes that I need and most important envelopes first. And then I will come to my bill tracker and fill it out every single week. So I hope that this was helpful. Sorry if it's a little bit confusing. It's kind of like an insight into my brain. It all works out, but sometimes it's just really hard to explain how you do things because not everybody will do things the exact same way. But other than that, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you were able to keep track. I'm sorry that my kids were being rowdy in the background, but other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. And if you are new here and you have not already, make sure you hit that red subscribe button because our family is so awesome here and I love you guys so much. Thank you for everything. Bye-bye.